Have you had
Go ahead.
challenges where you've let somebody go and it's, has not gone well and you weren't able to see eye to eye? And how did you kind of overcome that?
Yeah, we've that's actually been really interesting as we've gone, because you do have people, they come and they go. Some quit, and they realize it's not a good fit for them, and others you do have to let go, and handling that as gracefully as you can. And I've actually asked them, and I think it's so wise for us to surround ourselves with other like-minded people, right? To talk about these kind of things. And so I asked two guys very early on, and I'll never forget these responses. I said, as a kingdom-minded Christian businessman or woman, but these were two guys. But how do you handle firing? Because we're called to so much grace, and we're called to so many different things. And one guy was like, "Oh, that's pretty easy for me," and I was like, "Okay, well, let me hear it." And he goes,
Yeah, I'm waiting.
I'm like, man, yeah, right. And I was like, he goes, I realize that that person is not operating in their gifting. And so why should I hang on to that person if I know they're not in their gifting? Why do I hang on to them just out of selfish reasons because they're filling a role when I know that they would thrive better in some other position at some other company and be able to live out their gifting? And I was like, oh, that's phenomenal, dude. I love that. And he goes, and then I usually, most of the time I'm helping them, connect with another business. And so I'll call a buddy of mine that I think that they would fit well with and be like, hey, you know what? It didn't work here, but I think he's got these gifts and I think he'd be a really good fit for your organization. I was like, dude, I love that. I think that's phenomenal, where you're not so selfishly seeking things. And then the other guy, he said, for
Definitely,
me,
definitely easier. Sounds easier than it actually sometimes
yes,